Hello everyone, welcome to session 22 of Selenium Java training. Today we are going to continue with TestNG. In yesterday's session, I started explaining about TestNG, right? Yesterday's session was like part one of TestNG, and today I am going to continue the same, that is the same TestNG, and today I am going to take part two. Fine. So as I already mentioned, TestNG plays a key role. Okay, TestNG plays a main role or key role in automation frameworks. So its learning is very important. So let's continue with TestNG and explore the remaining things of TestNG today. Fine. So to get started, we'll continue with the annotations, guys. Okay, remaining annotations. Yesterday I was mentioning there are different annotations in TestNG, right? There are different annotations in TestNG, and what are they actually? At the rate test is one annotation. At the rate test is one annotation. Like that, many annotations are there. Yesterday I covered only one annotation, that is at the rate test. So here you can see the code. So here there are three methods: method, test registration method, test login method, and test homepage method. All these methods are provided with this at the rate test annotation. So when you provide this at the rate test annotation before these methods, this method will become a test case. Okay, this method also is a test case, another test case. This method is also another test or test case. So how many tests are there in this class? There are three tests now. Okay, using this at the rate test, we can convert the normal methods into the tests. That's the thing. Now, similar to at the rate test, we have other annotations also available. So let me open yesterday's session. So this is yesterday's one. So this is yesterday's notes, guys. Okay, if you see here, yesterday's notes. Fine. So here you see I mentioned there are several annotations. Apart from at the rate test, I also mentioned there are other annotations. What are they? At the rate before method. Let's write down one by one so that we can remember. Okay. At the rate before method is another annotation. After that we have at the rate after method. At the rate after method. After this we have at the rate before. There is something like before class. At the rate after class. Okay, then at the rate before test, at the rate after test we have, then at the rate before switch, at the rate after switch. So any more before switch, everything is done, and there are other annotations also available. Okay, other annotations that I will explain. So these are like for now, just focus on these annotations, guys. Okay, for now focus on these annotations. After a while I will explain other annotations. That's okay. So these annotations are kind of similar annotations. So let's focus on this kind of annotations first, and later we'll go with other annotations for different purposes. Fine. So after this at the rate test, we have to see at the rate before method, at the rate after method. So let's create some methods. Say public void something like setup. Okay, setup method I am creating. You can give any name here. Okay, you can give any name for the method. I am just giving setup. Fine. So here before this method, I will say at the rate before method. At the rate before method. Hold the mouse on this annotation and import this before method from TestNG like this. Fine. So inside this method, I'll write something like this. System.out.println launching the Chrome browser and application and opening application URL. Just assume that I am writing some Selenium code for launching the Chrome browser and opening the application URL. Okay. Once that is done, registration will be done because priority is equal to 1 is set here. Okay. If you remember yesterday's session, this execution flow can be changed. So the order in which these three test methods can be executed can be altered. That means by providing the priority, we can do that. If you set the priority as 1, this particular method will be executed first. If you set this as priority 2, this will be executed second. And if you set this as priority 3, this will be executed third position. So that means this will be executed in a particular order now. And at the rate before method has assume that it has some code for launching the Chrome browser and opening the application URL. Thereafter, it will perform registration, login, homepage like that, right? And similarly, okay, this is fine. So I just only created at the rate before method. So if I run this, guys, okay, if I run this code, what will happen? This at the rate before method will be executed before every test method, not only one test method. For every before every test method is executed, this at the rate before method will be executed. So if you run this particular code, what will happen here is first what will be executed, guys? So if I run this code, what will be executed first? First at the rate before method will be executed. Okay, this annotated method will be executed first. After that, one of the test method. Out of all these test methods, which test method will be executed first? Type in the chart, guys. Which test method will be executed first out of these three test methods? Just type in the chart. So test registration or test login or test homepage. Which one will be executed first? Guys, you have yeah, priority one related one. Yes, that is registration. That's correct, guys. Okay. So here one of the test method, one of the at the rate test method, that is nothing but test registration method. Okay. Test registration method will be executed first. Yeah, this is done. After this, what will happen? After this, which method will be executed? After this, which method? Out of all these methods, which method will be executed next? After test registration, you can type in the chat, guys. So, Karan, you are saying login, but that's not correct. Okay. Yeah, I understand that as per the priority, login will come next. But before that, again, the same method will be executed. Okay, that is before method. Again, the same at the rate before. At the rate before method will be executed before every test method. Okay, you have to remember that. Before every test method, at the rate before method will be executed. So again, at the rate test, this time, as you said, test login will be done. But before that, at the rate before method will be executed. That is setup method. Okay, the setup method will be executed. After that, again test login. Now tell me, after this test login, which method will be executed? After this test login, which method will be executed? Tell me, guys. Yes, you are right now. Okay, that before method will be executed. Before at the rate before method, annotated method will be executed. Then after this, at the rate test home page will be executed. Fine. So this is the execution flow, guys. Okay. So you have to understand the annotations, these annotations, especially these annotations, by looking at the kind of execution flow, what is going on. Okay. Before method test, before method test, before method test, before every test method, before method will be executed. Okay. So let's see that in action. Let's run this, and by looking at the output, you will understand what happened. Right click, run as TestNG test. Okay. Right click, run as TestNG test. So you see, launching the Chrome browser and opening application URL belongs to the before method. So it got executed first, then registration method, test registration method got executed. Then again launching the Chrome browser means before method. Then second test login. Then launching the Chrome browser and opening application URL, that means before method. Then home page test got executed. Okay, home page test got executed. That is test home page. So how many tests are there? Only 3. So here when you go to the TestNG results, you will see only 3 tests. Okay, before method is not a test case. This is not a test case. Only these three are the test cases. Okay, only at the rate test annotated methods are the test cases. Whereas this is not a test case. This is a normal method which will be performed or executed before every test case. So here, that's why in the TestNG results only three tests are specified. Okay, are shown. Oh, how many are test cases are there? Only three. How many are passed? Total three are passed. Remaining fail. Okay, like this guys. Now next. So what is the next annotation, guys? After this, what is the next annotation? After before method, we have after method. After before method, we have after method. I will remove this. So let's create after method. Somewhere here I will create at the rate. Public void closure. Some name I am giving, guys. Okay, so you can give any name, not an issue. Some method name I am giving. You can give any name. So this method I am specifying with at the rate after method. Fine. Over the mouse like this. Import this from TestNG. That's it. System.out.println. System.out.println. Here I will say closing the browser. If the browser is closed, automatically the application will be closed, right? So assume that this is the Selenium code for closing the browser. Now guys, what is the execution flow? Okay, how to understand after method? By understanding how the execution flow will happen. So similar to at the rate before method, I mentioned at the rate before method will be executed before every test method, right? Before every test method, at the rate before method will be executed. Similarly, at the rate after method will be executed after every test method. Okay, that's the only difference. It will be executed after every test method. This will be executed before every test method. This is a small difference. Before every test method, after every test method. So now you can tell me like how the execution flow will happen now. Tell me guys, what will out of all these methods, which method will be executed first? You can type in the chat. It's very easy and simple to understand. So now tell me what is the first method that will be executed now. Type in the chat guys. Yes, you are right. First before will be executed. Okay. So before will be executed. So here at the rate before method will be executed first. That means what is there in the at the rate before method? Launching the Chrome browser and opening application URL will be printed in the output console first. After that, after this before method, which method will be executed next? After this, which method, guys? Type in the chat. Guys, type in the chat so that you can easily understand the things and can be at the same time interactive. Yes, Krish, you are right. Test registration. Okay, next test registration. You are right, Krish. Okay. So here at the rate test method, that is test registration. Okay, I'm not typing entire thing, but short form I will print. Fine, test registration method will be executed next. After this, what method? You can easily say after test registration. Yes, that is closure means nothing but after method. Okay, at the rate after method will be executed. So after every test method, after method will be executed. So that's the rule. Now again at the rate before method. Then again at the rate test login. Then again at the rate after method. Then at the rate before method. Then at the rate test test home page. Okay, at the rate test home page. Then finally at the rate after method. This is the execution flow, guys. Before every test method, before method will be executed. After every test method, after method will be executed. That's the only thing, nothing more than that. Right click, run as TestNG test. You see, before every test method, launching the Chrome browser and opening application URL will happen. After every test method, closing the browser will happen. Launching the Chrome browser, closing the browser. Okay, before login and after login. Okay, so here launching, home page, closing. So every test method has before and after. So this is how before method and after method annotations will work. So we are done with 3 annotations by this time. At the rate test is done, at the rate before method is done, at the rate after method is done. Next one is at the rate before class, at the rate after class. So what I will do is I will remove this after method before method as you already understood, or I will simply change the annotations. The same methods before method after method I will change to before class. Small difference will be there. You will understand after class. So hover the mouse, import before class from TestNG. Import. Don't import from JUnit, guys. Okay, don't get confused. You'll get wrong results. If you import after class from JUnit, you will be wrong. You'll get wrong results. Okay, you'll be confused why things are not working. So better import after class from TestNG only. So some unwanted warning messages are there. Control Shift O. Okay, when you press Control Shift O, unnecessary import statements will be removed. Fine. Now, instead of before method, we have before class. Instead of after method, we have after class. So how these things will work? Let me explain. So let me clear out this stuff. At the rate before class. Okay. After that, we have at the rate after class. At the rate before class will be executed before the class execution. So where is the class? This demo 2 is a class under which we have before class, after class, right? Inside this class, we have before class, after class. So before class will be executed before this class is executed. Okay. Before this demo 2 class gets executed, first this before class will be executed. What about after class? As the name suggests, after the class gets executed, after the complete class execution is done, then only after class will be executed. Fine. So will be executed after the class execution. So now tell me how the execution will go on. So when you try to execute this demo to class, before this class execution, which method will be executed? Before class will be executed. So first at the rate before class will be executed. After that, after that class execution will start, and as part of the class execution, the first test method will be executed. That is test registration. At the rate test registration will be executed. Then again, after this, another test, that is test login will be executed. After this, another test, test home page will be executed. And after this, the complete class execution is done. Since after the class, after class will be executed. So at the rate after class will be executed. So fine. So before the class, at the rate before class, and after all the tests in the class got executed, then after class will be executed. So what is the difference between before method and before class? Before method will be executed before every test method, right? But before class is only executed for one time, right? Before class will be executed only one time. And after all the tests are executed, after class will be executed only for one time. So let's see this in action, guys. Okay. Right click, run as TestNG. You see, launching the Chrome browser and opening the application URL, that is this one, before class got executed here. After that, all the test cases got executed in the inside the class, that is registration, login, home page. And once the class execution is done, after class will be executed, that is closure, that is closing the browser. So this is the execution flow, guys. Okay, this is the execution flow for before class, after class. Clear, guys? Is this clear? Type S if it is clear for you, and you are able to see the difference between the before method and before class, after method and after class, how they are executed differently. Great, guys. Okay, fine. Now let's move to the next annotations. So before we move to another annotations, where are they? Yeah, I'll be explaining different other annotations here, guys. Okay. So the remaining, there are other annotations also, right? We so far we covered up to here. You see, up to here we covered, right? Total 5 annotations we covered. There are other annotations like before test, after test, before switch, after switch. Okay, I'll be covering them next. Just wait for a while. Okay. So, excuse me. So guys, so far we covered up to after class. So now few more annotations are there: before test, after test, before switch, after switch. As you can see the notes, they will be covered at this point of time. Okay. So far we covered up to after class. So there are some things that I have to explain before explaining these annotations. Okay. In order to understand these annotations, I have to cover a topic. So if you understand this topic, then you will understand the next set of annotations. So let me cover this particular topic, which is required before understanding these annotations. Fine. So let me clear out all this stuff again. Clear. So fine. So only our focus is this annotations. For this, we need to learn this section. This section is required. What is this section all about? Executing the Java class files in batch using TestNG.xml. So what does it mean? Executing the Java class files in batch using TestNG.xml. So let me explain what is that. Okay. So first of all, I'll delete all this stuff. Okay. So that things will be easy to understand for you guys. Let me start everything from scratch. So at present, there are no classes inside the SRC test Java. Let me create some classes. Right click new. I'll call this as some class one. Okay. Some class one, and click on finish. Inside this class one, I'll create a test method. Okay. One test method I will create for now. That will be enough. Public void. I'll say test one. Okay. Test one method. I'll how to make this as a test method? I have to say at the rate test, and hover the mouse, import this test annotation from TestNG. Done. Here I'll write some code. Assume that this is Selenium code. In real time, this may be Selenium code. System.out.println. System.out.println. So here I will be writing in test one of class one got executed. Test one test of class one class got executed. Just writing some sample statement so that just make sure that this got executed, right? This will be printed in the output. By looking at the output, we can know that this particular test method got executed. Similarly, I'll create another class, second class, that is class 2. I will say click on finish. Already class 1 is there, and along with the class 1 I am creating class 2 now. Inside this I am going to create another test method, that is public void some test2 method, and I will convert this test2 method as a test method. So at the rate test I have to put over the mouse and import this test from TestNG. System.out.println test2 test2 test of class 2 got executed. Fine. So like this, I have to create some different classes, guys. Okay. Let me create some different classes. So right click new, or else I will yeah, I'll create one more class here, class 3. Okay. So same thing. So just to save your time, I'll copy paste this method and change the things. Okay. So the formatting is gone wrong. So what we have to do? Control Shift F. You see, everything is proper now. At the rate test. Import. So here I will say 3. Okay, instead of 2, I will say 3. So here also 3. Just let me know, guys, if I am doing any mistake. You can type in the chat and let me know. Okay. When I copy paste something, there is a possibility that there may be some mistakes done without my notice. Test 3 test off. You see here, instead of 2, we have to say 3. Okay, inside the class 3, we have this test 3. I'll create another package, guys. I'll create another package, some opac. Okay, just giving a random name. Here I will say class. Sorry. Here I will say right click new, class 4. Okay, class 4. Fine. Here I will say I'll copy paste. Okay, I'll copy paste this at the rate test. Import this test from TestNG annotation. TestNG. This annotation from TestNG and change it to test 4. Here also test 4. So we are preparing the things, guys. In order for me to explain this particular concept, okay, in order for me to explain this concept, I have to prepare all this stuff. Okay, so be patient and let's create all the stuff. Let's create some 7 classes here. Okay, so how many are already done? Fourth is being done. Fourth is already done now. Okay, so how many more? 3 more we have to create. Total 7 we have to create. Let's say so class 5. Okay, class 5. Finish. Paste it here. Again at the rate test. Here test 5, class 5. Done. So now 3 are there here, 2 are there here. One more I will create. That is class 6, I am saying. Okay, class 6. Finish. At the rate test. What happened? This looks good, but yeah, it's coming somehow. It didn't come. That's okay. Test 6, class 6. Save it. I'll create one more package. TO, some kpack. Okay. So there is a reason why I'm creating different packages. I can put all this class inside a single package, right? But here, these 3 are in one package. Another 3 classes are in this package. Now another package is there. Okay. Remaining class, that is class 7, will be under this package now. And the same thing is happening. Let me save this first. And at the rate test, I'm getting now. Okay. test 7. Here also 7. 7. So make sure everything is correct. 6 is there. 6 6. 5 5 5. 4 4 4. 3 3 3. 2 2 2 2. 1. So total, how many classes are there? 7 classes. I'll close all these them. Close all these classes. So there are 7 classes. Each and every class has a single test method, right? So if I run this, if I want to run class 1, what I have to do? Right click on class 1, run as TestNG test. So the class 1 got executed, guys. In the result we got test 1 test of class 1 got executed. Test 1 test of class 1. This got printed, guys. In the output you can see this print statement got printed here, right? Only this particular test method got printed because executed because we only executed class 1. What if I executed class 2? Right click, run as TestNG2. Only the test method that is there inside the class 2 will be executed. So here you can see only the test method inside the class 2 will be executed. This is the test method. Test 2 test method will be executed. Test 2 test of class 2 got executed should be printed. Like this it got executed. Now if I want to execute class 3, right click, run as TestNG test. Only this test method will be executed. Test 3. So individually I can execute the classes. Individually I am able to execute the classes. But what if I want to execute all these classes at the same time? With a single click, I want to execute all these classes. Is there a possibility, guys? What I have to do, guys? Any guesses? So here, individually I can run one by one class. But I want to run all these classes as a group. Here the concept is executing the Java class files in batch. Batch means as a group I have to execute. I don't want to execute individual like this. Right click, run as TestNG test. I don't want. I want to execute all these classes in a single go. So when I run this for single time, the 7 classes should be executed. All the tests inside the 7 classes should be executed. Any guesses, guys, how to do this? Individually, I showed you how to execute each and every class. I'm getting the results also. Only that particular test method inside that particular class is getting executed. But my requirement is to right click, run something so that all these 7 classes should get executed in a single run. Single execution, every class should execute. So the answer is using this testng.xml file. Okay, we have to execute using this testng.xml file. So guys, do you see any testng.xml file in this project? Just type yes if you are able to see testng.xml file. Are you able to see anywhere testng.xml file? Krishi is saying no. What about others? Are you able to see, guys, anywhere testng.xml file? No, right? Yeah. So the reason is there is no testng.xml file available. If I expand everything, nowhere we can see this testng.xml file. You see, there's no testng.xml file anywhere. So how to create this? How to create a testng.xml file? So first of all, if what we are discussing, we have to run all the classes at once. In a single run, we have to run all the classes. For that, what we need? We need testng.xml file. We need testng.xml file. But testng.xml file is not there in the project. So what we have to do? We have to create testng.xml file. How to create? How to create the testng.xml file is a question. Simple, guys, very simple. Right click on this project. Okay, right click on this project where all the classes are available. Just right click on the project name and go to TestNG. You can see this option TestNG, and then select this convert to TestNG option. When you do so, you'll get this dialog. Okay, generate testng.xml. So if let me show you again. Right click on the project, select TestNG and select convert to TestNG. This option when you select, you will get this generate TestNG.xml, and you'll see some text here. XML content is there, right? So that's, I will explain more about this part. Don't worry about this. Okay. And what you have to do? Simply, you have to click on finish, guys. Nothing more than that. Simply, you need to click on finish. So now you see testng.xml file got created. You see a testng.xml file got created. So open this. Open this. This has some XML code. Okay, XML content is there. Some XML tags are there and all those stuff. That's fine. Now, what's the structure? So this is like a definition of this XML file. Okay, some doc type XML. These are like I mean definitions. You can say whatever it is. You don't have to understand these two lines. Okay, every XML actually needs these two lines. So then only the actual XML content will work. This is actual XML content you have to focus. This by default will be there as part of the XML standards and all. These two lines will be added in every XML. So this part we have to focus. So here you see when I collapse, the main tag is which tag is? For HTML, what will be the main tag? For in HTML, what is the main tag? The root tag. What is the root tag in HTML, guys? HTML code. If you remember, can you tell me? Root tag I am saying, root tag. Head is the child of that particular root tag. Body also is a child of that particular root tag. What is the main root tag in HTML? So if I have to create a HTML document, I'll start with HTML root tag. Yes, Karan, you are right. HTML is a root tag. Right here in XML, what is the root tag? Here in XML, what is the root tag here in this example? Yes, suit. Okay, you just need to understand like that. Suit is the root tag. Okay, under suit tag, this particular tags are there. Okay, under this suit tags, this particular, which tag is there? Which is a child of the suit tag? In this particular example XML file, inside the suit tag, what is there? Which tag is there as a child tag? What is the child? Yes, test tag. You are right, Karan. Test tag. So test is a, you see test is starting here, ending here. Test tag is a child of the suit tag. Under test tag, we have classes tag. Classes starting here, classes ending here. Inside the classes, we have several class tags. So how many class tags are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because we have 7 classes, right? Class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, class 7. Total 7 classes are there. So 7 class tags got generated, automatically generated in this testng.xml file. If we have 9 classes, then 9 class tags would have been there, right? Since we have only 7 classes, 7 class tags came. And this all 7 class tags are inside the classes. And this classes is inside the test. This test is inside the suit. So this is a structure. For now, you have to understand the structure. And if you focus on this class tags, guys, there is some name attribute here. Name attribute name and value is there. So let's go with this particular class tag which is having name. What is this tpack, guys? What is this tpack? What is this tpack? You can type in the chat, guys. Okay. What is this tpack? Tpack is nothing but what, guys? Tpack. What is opac? What is kpack? What are these things? What are these things, guys? Can you look at the project and tell me what are they? Tpack, opac, kpack? Anyone, guys? Anyone? Anyone? You can type in the chat and tell me what is this tpack? What is this opac? What is this kpack? You have to tell me now. Yes, guys, you are right. They are packages. You see, where is class 1? Class 1 is under the tpack. So tpack dot class 1. Class 2. Where is class 2? tpack dot class 2. Package name dot class name. Like that. Okay. Packages. These are packages, guys. And few packages. If you talk about few packages, 1, 2, 3 classes under the tpack only. Okay. This 3 classes under the tpack. So tpack dot class 1, tpack dot class 2, tpack dot class 3. What about 4, 5, 6? 4, 5, 6? they are under opac, opac dot class 4, opac dot class 5, opac dot class 6. What about class 7? Class 7 is under kpac, so kpac dot class 7. So you see everything is properly created here, right? So you have to understand. So when you represent a particular class in the testng.xml file, we have to specify package name, after that dot class name. Fine. Now guys, with a single run I can run the with a single run I can run all the test cases. All the 7 classes I can run. How to do that? Right click on testng.xml file, which is having all the classes mentioned, run as. Here we are getting a different option now. You see, if I right click on class 1, run as, what option I'm getting? TestNG test. I'm getting an option like test for individual class. I'm getting TestNG test for running, right? What about when I right click run as TestNG XML? I'm getting TestNG suite, TestNG switch. So here individual test, here suite of tests. Suite means a complete collection. Here in XML file also suite tag is there. Suite means a collection of tests. Collection of tests. Okay, fine. So right click on testng.xml, run as testng switch. So you see what happened? All the classes got executed, guys, in some order. That's fine. What is the order of execution? I'll explain that. I'll come to that. What is the order of execution? I'll come to that. First test 5 test got executed. Which class? Class 5. Then class 7. Then class 6. Class 4, class 2, class 1, class 3. In which order? In the order in which they are mentioned here. Suppose let's change the order. First I'll take it from here and put it class 1 here. Okay. First class 1 I have to put. Then I'll put class 2. I'm changing the order now. So order in which these particular classes are provided inside this testng.xml file, the same order in which this particular test will get executed, classes will get executed. So now I'll change everything into a proper order. First class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6 will come here, class 7. The order is good, but you see the format is not good, right? The way we are writing the things are not good. So press Control Shift F. Okay, press Control Shift F. The spaces are not gone. Just manually remove the spaces. That's it. Save it. Now run testng.xml file using testng suite. This time you see first class 1, then class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, class 7. The order in which these classes are specified in this testng.xml file, the same order in which this will get executed. Okay. Test 1 method. Test 1 test from class 1 got executed first. Test 2 test of class 2 got executed second. Like this, all the test methods inside all the classes got executed. What if I don't want to execute class 4 and class 2? 2 and 4 I don't want to execute. Okay. 2 and 4 I don't want to execute. What I have to do, guys? Tell me, guys, what I have to do? If I don't want to execute 2 and 4, remaining all classes I want to execute. Out of this 7, I want to execute as a batch only 5 classes, except 2 and 4. The remaining classes I want to execute. What I have to do? Any ideas? Any ideas, guys? What I have to do? So simply I have to remove them, right? Remove this class. Remove this class 4. What are remaining? Only 5 classes are remaining. Now save it and run this time. Right click, run as TestNG suite. Only this mentioned classes will be executed. You see, only 5. 1, 2 is not there. 3, 4 is not there. 5, 6, 7. Like this. Okay. You can tweak this testng.xml file according to your needs and run as per your needs. Fine. Okay. So, and we can mention some suite names, guys. You can actually give some suite name here. Okay. You can give some suite name here. You can change the test case names here. Let's say suite name I will give as payments. let's say there is a functionality. Let's say you are working for an application, you're automating an application, and you want to automate some payment section. For example, in an e-commerce application, before purchasing an order, you need to make a payment, right? Make a payment. There are several options for payments like net banking, credit cards, debit cards, okay, wallets. Many other options will be there in the payments, right? Cash on delivery, all those stuff. So let's say there is one sort of the tests which fall into the which category? Said let's say net banking category. Net banking, there are many number of tests. You see, all these are under a test, guys. All these are under the test. So net banking, fine. So I'll create another test, another suite of test I'll create. Inside the same suite, first category of test is belong to the net banking test. All these are test cases related to the net banking testing. These are all the test cases belong to the net banking functionality. Now I want to create a test which belong to the another category. So how to do that? Test tag, another test tag. After this test tag, I'm creating another test tag, and this is another. Okay, this is another set of tests. So here, copy this thing, paste it here. So this test is giving error because you have to provide this attributes case. Copy this. Okay, blindly copy this for now. What are these attributes? I will explain later. Okay, when time comes. Here I will say credit/debit cards. Okay, credit/debit cards. This particular test category is credit or debit cards. Here tpack.class2 I will put. Okay, and other one is I will remove this. Class 4 is under opaque. So here opaque dot class 4. Like this I can organize, guys. You see, complete suite is payment suite. Under this, two sets of tests are there. Under this, two sets of tests are there. First set of tests are net banking. Second set of tests are credit debit cards related tests. How many test cases are falling under credit debit cards? Guys, how many test cases are under credit debit cards? This category, how many test cases are there? Yes. What about net banking? How many test cases are there? Net banking. Net banking category of tests. So like this, you can organize, guys. Okay. You can give the name for suit name. You can give the name for the test categories. Okay. This is the intention, nothing more than that. Why name attribute is there means to specify this kind of categories. We have the name attribute for suit tag, name attribute for test tags. Okay. Like this, you can have any number of tests. Now run this. You'll get the same result. All these seven classes will be executed as part of this test. 5 classes will be executed as part of this particular test. 2 classes will be executed. Right click, run as TestNG suite. First class 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. Class 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 will be executed, and then class 2, class 4. Class 2, class 4. If you click on this TestNG results, you will have a better idea. You see? So here payments is a suite. Here you see payments is a suite, right? Suite name is payments. Under payments, we have two category of test cases. First category is net banking. So net banking is there here. Second category is credit or debit cards. If you expand the net banking, there are 5 test cases. Class 1, class 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Total 5 test cases. If we expand credit debit cards, we have 2 test cases. Class 2, class 4. Total 7 are there. Like this, guys. We have to understand like this. Okay. So a lot of things will come now, guys. Okay. We have to understand one by one. So we have created multiple test modules in TestNG like this. This is nothing but first test module, second test module we already created. Then Yeah, that's fine. We can specify a group of classes under classes and class tags. Under the classes tag, we have to mention the class tag. Group of class tags will be there under classes. Okay. Under test, we'll have classes tag. Under classes, we'll have class tags. Here also, under test, we have classes tags. Under classes, we have class tags. So this is first test module, second test module. Like this, we can have any number of test modules and they will be under the suit tag. So this structure you have to understand, guys. Okay. This TestNG.xml structure you have to understand and how to modify or customize for your needs. Then only you will understand this part. These annotations you will understand once you understand all the things that I explained so far. Fine. So let's start with the remaining annotations. What are the remaining annotations, guys? We are done with the test, before method, before class, after class. Now remaining annotations are before test, after test, before switch, after switch. These are the remaining annotations. Let's cover them now. So coming to the before test. So by looking at this testng.xml file, can you guess what is before test? By looking at this testng.xml file, can you guess what is before test? When before test method will be executed? Before test annotated method will be executed? How many tags are there? How many test modules are there here in this testng.xml file? How many test modules are there, guys? Yes, you are right. Two are there. That means before test will be executed before this test module and this test module also. You're getting the point, right? So coming to the before test annotation will be executed before every test module. Before this test cases gets executed. Okay, before this test gets executed, before this classes, I mean, before this test inside this classes gets executed, before test will be executed once. Okay, after that, again, another test module will come. So before any of these classes of this particular test module gets executed, before test will be executed again. So this is the flow, guys. Let me write down. One minute. Fine. So here, as I mentioned, first, this is a testng.xml file, guys. There are two test modules, as you can see. First test module is this one, and second test module is this one. Before every test module, at the rate before test, before test will be executed. So, but if you go to any of the classes, do you see anywhere at the rate before test annotated methods? Class 2. I'm just opening all the classes, class 1, class 2. You see, only test methods are available. Here, class 3, only test method is available. Class 4, only test method is available. Class 5, also test method. Class 6, also test method. Class 7, also test method. Right? In which class I have to write the before? Okay, understood. Now you able to hear me, guys? Can you hear me now? Okay, fine. So let me close this and let me start again. So what I am saying here is there are two test modules, right? Test module 1, test module 2, and before test will be executed before this particular test module is executed. So the methods annotated with before test annotation will be executed before this test module, and again before this test module. Before every test module they will be executed. But where I have to provide a method, you see here there are 7 classes. Class 1 is there, only test method is there. Class 2 is there. Here also only test method is there. Class 3, here also test method is there. Class 4, only test method. Class 5, only test method. Class 6, only test method. Class 7. I opened all the classes from class 1 to class 7 and everything only has a test method. Nowhere I created at the rate before test method, right? There is no method having the annotation like at the rate before test. So in which class I have to provide the at the rate before test? Can anyone say? Before in which class, from class 1 to class 7, in which class I have to provide the before test annotated method? I didn't have, so far I didn't create anything, right? So Karan is saying first class. So guys, the answer is you can create in any class. It doesn't matter. Okay, you can create in any class, either in class 1, class 2, class 3, class 4, class 5, class 6, class 7. Any class you can create, guys. Let me create in class 1 for now, but you can create in any class. Public void. Okay, we'll give some name. Okay, we'll give some name, test m, some test module. Okay, so I'm just giving test before every test module, test m I'm giving at the rate before test, at the rate before test, import before test from TestNG annotations. So I'll write here, this will be executed before every test module in the testng.xml file. Inside the testng.xml file, how many test modules are there? 2 are there. So before every test module, this testm method will be executed. Okay. Let's see now. I just put this particular before test in one of the classes. You can put anywhere, guys. So now I am running testng.xml file. Right click, run testng suite. You see what happened here? This will be executed before every test module in testng.xml file, and this has occurred only once. Okay, this has occurred only once. Test 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. For 2, 4, it is not there. For 2, 4, it is not there. Only for the first test module. Since this class 1, 2, 3, 4, class 1, 3, 5, 6, 7, right, belong to one of the test module. You see, 1, 3, 5, 6, 7. So since you mentioned in class 1, this before test is applicable only for this test method. What about this test method? What about this test module? It's not being executed because it's not specified in one of the classes. In one of the classes of this 2 or 4, it has to be mentioned. For example, let's put that before test again in, let's say, class 4 this time. Okay, class 4. So what will happen? Let's see. Right click, run as TestNG suite. This time it came. This time it came because in one of the test methods we have to put it, guys. For example, if you want the before test method to be executed before before this test module, then this particular test module has how many classes? How many classes are there, guys, in this test module? In this test module, how many classes are there? 5. In any of these classes, you have to put either class 1, you have to put class 3, 5, 6, 7. So earlier we put in the class 1, right? Remove this from here. Put in any of these classes. Let's say I will put in class 5. So I'll go to class 5. We'll put it here. Okay. Now run this. Right click, run as TestNG suite. You see, still it is in the first position only. If you are mentioning in one of the classes of this test module, then that particular before test annotated method will be executed before every class of that particular test module, like this. And again, in 2, 4 also you have to mention in one of the class. Here 2 is there, here 4 is there. In 4 we have mentioned this before test. So again it got executed before 2 and 4, it got executed again. Like this, guys. This is how it works. Now simple. Same thing applies for the after test also. Same thing applies for the after test. After test annotation. So here in any of these classes, we have to provide the after test. So let's choose one of the class. Let's say class 6. I'll go to class 6. Here somewhere I will say public void test E. Okay, some name I am giving, random name, at the rate after test annotated method. This is system.out.println. this will be executed after the test module. After the test module in the testng.xml file, after the test module in the testng.xml file, it will be executed. We are saying same thing. I am copying, guys, and putting into one of the 2 and 4 are there. I'm into the 2. I'll put it because here you see this 2 and 4. Another test module has 2 and 4. In one of these classes, I have to put that. Okay, in 2 I am putting that. Fine. Like this, we have make sure that test after test annotation method is in one of the test modules. Both of the test modules. Right click run as TestNG suite. So before first test module, this is before test. Then 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 got executed. Then after the test module, this will be executed after the test module, after test method. Okay, after test method got executed. Then again for 2 and 4 also, before test method, after test method. This is how we have to use before test and after test. Okay, they will be executed before the test module, after the test modules. There are 2 test modules, so you have to provide in one of the classes of this test modules, guys, to make them work. So is this clear, guys? Is this clear how to work with @ before test, after test? You have to practice, guys, because this is like when you practice only you will get more idea. But still, are you able to understand how to use @ before test, after test? Is it clear, guys? Type as if it is clear in the chat, so that I will move to the next section, before suit and after suit. Yes, fine, guys. But practice, guys. Okay, you understood it, but still practice it because this may be confusing for many people. So better to practice and get to a clarity. So now I'll be explaining about before switch and after switch. So now you can guess it. What is before switch, after switch? By looking at this testng.xml file, can you guess, guys, what is before switch? Can you guess what is before switch? I'll remove this unnecessary annotation after test. All those things I'll remove during this time. You can type in the chat for the answer. What is before switch and after switch? Can you guess what is before switch, after switch? When the before switch and after switch annotated methods will be executed? Any guesses, guys? Type in the chat if you are able to guess. By looking at this testng.xml file, you have to say before switch, after switch annotated methods will be executed when? When, guys? Type in the chat. Yes, guys. Krish, you are right. Before and after the suit execution. This is a suit, right? This is complete suit. How many tests? How many classes are there under this complete suit? Total how many classes? Total how many classes? 7. In one of the class, I can provide the before switch. In one of the 7 classes, I'll provide the before suit annotated method. Okay. So it's going to be execute before that. So let's choose one of the class. Let's say class 3. I'll choose some random class like class 3. And in class 3, 1 minute. So in class 3, I'm creating this. Okay. Public void. I'll give some name, text k or something. Okay. Anything. I'll give something. Or mk or okay, method k or something. Better to give some random name. You can give any random name, guys. Sorry. Okay. So let me create this method again. So public void. Some method, random method you can give, method k. At the rate. What I have to give? Before switch. At the rate before switch I have to give. Over the mouse. Import before switch from TestNG. That's it. Now system.out.println before all the classes in the switch. Okay, this will be executed before all the classes in the switch. Where is the switch? TestNG.xml file. This is a switch. Before all the classes means total 7 classes. In one of the classes, let's say class 4. Class 3. I am giving this before switch. So before all the classes in the switch, it will be executed. Similarly, I'll give after switch, guys. Okay, similarly I'll get after suite. Where I'll give after suite, I'll give in class 4. Okay, class 4 after suite I'll give public void method d at the rate after switch over the mouse import system.out.println after all the classes in the switch. After all the classes in the switch, this particular method should be executed. So now things are good. Let's run this testng.xml file again. So let's see whether whatever we are expecting is happening or not. Before all the class in the switch, this particular before switch annotated method got executed, as you can see, and all the classes got executed. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7 from first test module, and 2 classes from the another test module got executed. After that, at the end of the switch, after all the class in the switch will be executed. You see, we are able to execute all the things. So this is everything is covered now, guys. Okay, this is also covered now. Before test, after test, before suite, after test, after suite also covered. We are done with almost all the annotations related to the control flow. Now let's understand some other topics, guys. There are many more topics left. Okay, so TestNG is very huge topic, guys. Okay, don't think TestNG is very simple. So TestNG is very huge topic, and it plays a very important role in automation frameworks. So we have to learn it completely. So that's why it's very lengthy. As you can see here, it's kind of it's already part 2, and we completed annotations. First set of annotations we completed. There are many other things left. Let's complete the remaining things also the same manner. Commenting in testng.xml file. Okay, so how to comment in a, if I have to comment something here, let's say I want to comment this line, what I have to do, guys? In Java I have to say double slash, right? This will comment this line. So if I have to comment something like this, from here to here I want to comment, so I have to put like this. So till here I want to comment like this. I have to put start, the comment starts from here, ends here. Okay, multiple lines I can comment. Similarly, testng.xml file also, in testng.xml file also we can provide comments. This is a syntax, guys, for the comments. Okay, this is nothing but a comment only. So copy this part or type it manually. Let's say I want to comment only, I want to execute only first module, first test I want to execute, I don't want to execute the second test module. So what I have to do, I want to comment the this particular test module I want to comment. How to do that? I have to start with this part. Okay, so put this here, say exclamatory mark, say hyphen hyphen, and automatically this is getting coming. Just cut this from here, and wherever you want to end the comment, put it there. This is the starting of the comment, ending. Okay, this entire part got commented. You see, which is not commented in a proper color, whereas which is commented, the starting of the comment, ending of the comment is kind of in a this different format. Now, guys, if I run this testng.xml file, what will be executed? Only this particular test module will be executed. This will not be. This is commented out. Commented out means it will not be executed. So right click, run as TestNG switch. You see, only 5 classes will be executed, guys. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, only 5 classes got executed. So don't worry about this before switch. I will remove this. If you are in confusion, you can remove this. Not a problem. Okay. So save it. Now run it again. You will see that only 5 classes. That is only test module. Okay. First test module will be executed. Net banking test module. So in that only 5 classes. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 are there. 1, 3, 5, 6, 7 got executed. This is commented, so this will not be executed. This is how the comments works. Okay. You can also try it yourself, guys. Now many other things are there. Next thing is excluding a method from execution by changing the testng.xml file. Fine. Excluding a method from execution by changing the testng.xml file. So let's see how this works. So here, so fine. So we'll do one thing, guys. To make your understanding easy, I'll remove this. I'll make this testng.xml file very simple. That is, inside this test, I will only put one class. Okay. So what if I run this? What if I run this, guys? What will happen when I run this? Only one test module is there. and inside that only one class is there now. That is class 1. If I open class 1, how many test methods are there? Only one test method is there, right? Only one test method is there in the class 1. So if I run this testng.xml file, how many methods will be executed? How many tests will be executed? Only one. So right click, run as testng suite. Only test 1 got executed. Okay. Why? Because inside the class 1, only class 1 is mentioned in this testng.xml file. Only class 1 is mentioned in this testng.xml file. In that class 1, only one test method is there. Let's say I want to create multiple test methods. So let's say I will convert this test 1 into test 1a. So I'll say test 1a. Similarly, I'll create another test methods. Multiple test methods I'll create. 4 test methods I'm creating. Here B, C, D, like that. Okay. So B, C, D, then Control Shift F, so that it will be organized or formatted properly. Here these are not normal methods, guys. These 3 methods are normal methods. I have to convert them into the test methods. So at the rate test I have to add. At the rate test I have to add. Here also at the rate test. Here also at the rate test I have to add. That's it. So now how many test methods are there inside this class 1? Tell me, guys, how many test methods are there? How many test methods? Yes, 4 test methods are there. Now if I run this testng.xml file, only class 1 will be executed. How many test methods will be executed inside the class 1? 4. So this time right click, run as TestNG suite, 4 test methods. You see test 1a, test 1b, test 1c, test 1d. Inside the class 1, inside this class 1, 4 test methods got executed. A, B, C, D. Okay, you got the result as test 1a, test of class 1, test 1b, test of class 1, test 1c, test of class 1, test 1d, test of class 1 got executed, got this printed here. Fine. Now, so there are 4, but in this particular class, I don't want to execute all the test methods. Okay, I want to exclude one of the test method. How to do that? I want to, let's say, when I run this particular thing, okay, I want to run only A, B, and D. I don't want to run C. I don't want to run C, guys. Only 3 test methods of this inside this class 1 I want to execute. By skipping this C, I want to skip C, guys. How to do that? Simple. Here, now this is a self-closing tag. So I will convert this into like this. Class / class. Okay. This is not required now. I'll break this class tag into 2 parts. Starting tag, ending tag. Instead of a self-closing thing, I'll separate this. And here inside this, I'll type something like this. Okay. You can look into the notes, guys. Okay. So this part I have to take. Methods exclude name is equal to. Okay. We have to write like that. So here method tags I have to add. Methods. Inside the method tags, this particular class, for this particular class, methods are there, right? In this particular class, some 4 test methods are there. In that 4 test methods, I want to exclude. Okay, I want to exclude the test method having the name is equal to. Okay, like this. Like this we have to write. I want to exclude the test method having the name is equal to. What is that name that we want to exclude? This is the name of the test method. Copy this and put it here. Simple. So this time also we are executing the class 1. In class 1, how many classes are there? 4 classes are there. 1, 2, 3, 4. In that 4 classes, we are asking the testng.xml file to exclude test1c. Only this particular class having the name as test1c, just exclude. Remaining classes, remaining tests you can execute. So this time, how many tests will be executed, guys? If you are excluding test1c, how many test methods will be executed, guys? If you are excluding test1c, out of 4, we are excluding 1. So only 3 will be executed. So right click, yes, right click, run as TestNG switch. You see, A, B, D is there, but C is not there. You see, C is not there. You can see here also A, B, D came, but C is not coming because we excluded it. What if I change this exclude to include? Reverse. Okay, I'm changing the exclude to include. That means when you are running the class 1, we are asking to run only class test 1C. Okay, only test 1C will be executed, guys. Include means only include one test method. While you are running this class 1, only run test 1C. You are saying include means only run test 1C. That means when you are running only this particular test method will be executed now. Okay, remaining everything will be skipped, guys. Instead of saying exclude everything, exclude test 1A, test 1B, exclude test 1D. Instead of saying that, simply you can say include test 1C. That means only one test method you want to execute out of all the test methods inside this class 1. Then you can say include. So run this, only one test method, that is test 1C will be executed this time. You see, only test 1C. Out of 4 test methods, only test 1C got executed. That is the difference between exclude and include, guys. Okay, exclude and include. Exclude means apart from this execute everything. Include means only execute this particular thing. Okay, that is the difference. Now either with include or exclude, we can write this kind of statement. Okay, so what is this? I will tell you. Let's say include, I will say include test 1 dot star, I will say. What does this mean? Include name test 1 dot star. Here inside this class 1, all the methods having test 1A, test 1B, test 1C, test 1D is there. So what is common? Test 1 is common. So I am saying here test 1. So all the classes, all the test methods which are starting with the name test 1 and remaining can be anything. Okay, the methods which are starting with the name test 1, A can be there, B can be there, afterwards C can be there, D can be there. Okay, regular expression, guys. This is regular expression. Dot star means anything followed by test 1. The name of the test method can be starting with the test 1, and after test 1 the name can be anything. The name can be anything. That's the thing. So if I run this, how many test methods will be executed? How many test methods inside the class 1 will be executed, guys? When I say test 1 dot star, here every class is having test 1, starting with test 1, test 1, test 1. So how many methods will be executed? After that, anything can be there. How many methods, guys? Type in the chat. Yes, you are right, guys. 4. Because every test method inside the class 1 is being started with test 1 only. So it can be afterwards, A can be there, B can be there, C can be there, D can be there, according to the regular expression. So all the test methods will be executed. Right click, run as TestNG switch. You see, test 1A, test 1B, test 1C, test 1D, because every test method here inside the class 1 is starting with the name test 1, test 1, test 1, test 1, test 1. So that's fine. So next thing, that is regular expression. Next thing is executing the test at package level. Okay, executing the test at package level. So what I will do here is I'll comment this part, guys. How to comment? Again, put this like this. Yes, I'll comment this so that we can use it afterwards. Okay. So this particular test module I am commenting. So this will not be executed now. Nothing will be executed, guys. If you run this, nothing will happen because nothing is there in the testng.xml file. You see, nothing here. No test runs. 0 test runs because I commented the test module itself. But I'm creating another test module here. Test/test. So this will error will come in the test module because you have to copy these attributes. Copy these attributes, guys. Done. Inside this test, I am going to execute this classes according to the package. Let's say I want to run all the classes inside this OPAC. I want to run the classes inside this OPAC. What I have to do? Here is the syntax, guys. Under the test, you have to say packages. You have to give the package name. So how many packages are there here, guys? In this particular project, how many packages are there? How many packages are there? In this particular project, MVT project, how many packages are there? Type in the chat. Yes, 3 packages are there, but I want to execute only the test from this OPAC. Okay, remaining classes I don't want to execute. I want to execute the test only from this particular package. So for that we have to create under the test module, we have to say packages. In this packages, what is the package name we have to give? Package name is equal to, what is the name of the package that we want to only run the test from OPAC. So I'll give the package name OPAC. That's it, guys. Okay. So like this package level configuration. Now that's it. So if I run this, only the classes, only the tests from the classes which are from the OPAC will be executed. Remaining will not be executed. Right click, run as TestNG suite. You see, only 4, 5, 6. 4, 5, 6 are belonging to which package? OPAC. Okay, only 4, 5, 6 from O package. Fine. OPAC, OPAC, OPAC. So this is like for example, why we are doing all this different kind of configurations here, guys? Because this is all because of the client needs, guys. Okay. Tomorrow, when you are working in a particular project, your client may ask you to, in different ways, he will ask. He will say, oh, can you send me a report? Okay. Can you send me a report only of the tests which are in this particular package? Then you have to change the testng.xml file like this. Okay. One someday he will say that only run the test cases, okay, which belonging to the net banking test module. Then you will only run the test banking thing. Okay. So like that, guys. So many client requirements will come. Client will ask you to run the test cases in different formats. He'll ask you to run only execute the test cases from the particular package. He'll ask you to run all the test cases. Okay, all the tests or a section of tests. Okay, like that, different things he will ask. Or he will say that don't only run this particular test or run only these two things out of all the things, like that many permutations, combinations kind of things he may ask, and you should be in a position to change the testng.xml file and send the particular test results to the client. For that you should not be manually executing each and everything. Instead you have to change the testng.xml file like this. Okay, if client is asking you to execute only the tests which are belonging to the OPAC, then create this kind of test module. Okay, create this kind of test module. You can give name OPAC package test like this. Okay, and then put this package and provide the package name from which, suppose client will ask you to execute the classes, two packages, OPAC and KPAC. So put another package here, package. So client is asking you to execute the classes or tests from these two packages, OPAC and KPAC. So give KPAC here. That's it. Done. Now run this. Right click, run as TestNG suite. You see, 7 is also done. 7 is also there because 7 is from KPAC. Remaining 5, 4, 6 are from 5, 4, 6 are from OPAC, whereas 7 is from KPAC. Like this, 4 tests got executed. Okay, OPAC and KPAC. Done. So this is like package level configuration. That's fine. Now, next one, that is groups. So is it clear, guys? Is it clear so far? Is it clear, guys? How to modify the testng.xml file to get our results? But you have to practice. We cannot remember all these things, guys. Okay. Even though I am explaining, sorry, guys. Even though I'm I'm explaining all these concepts, I may not be able to remember all these things. Okay. Whenever you are in need, just refer to this kind of documentation notes and change your testng.xml file, because I don't remember all the syntax. No one can remember, because after 2 days, 3 days, you will forget, right? But at least you should be in a position to incorporate the things whenever needed. You have to refer to this documentation and get the things. We have Google in our Google at our hand. If you have any doubts, you can Google search for something like how to do this, how to do that, and all those stuff, and you'll get the results. Or you can refer to this kind of notes and go to the testng.xml file. By looking at these notes, okay, you got the syntax here. So implement the same thing and get the results. Okay. So don't think that you can remember everything. No need to remember, guys. Simply practice and make sure that you are getting the results. That's it. You are able to customize. Groups. Next thing is groups. So what are groups? You know, there are different type of test cases, right? Smoke test cases will be there. Regression test cases will be there. Sanity test cases will be there. Okay. So here there are several test cases. In class 1 we have tests. Class 2 we have tests. Class 3 we have tests. And all these tests belong, all these tests may belong to different categories. Okay. How to group them? How to group them? Let me tell you. For example, here in class 1, we have 4 test methods. Okay. So all these tests may not be smoke tests. All these test classes, all the test methods inside this class 1 may not be smoke tests, right? So how to categorize the tests which belong to the smoke test? For that, there is a concept like groups, guys. Okay. So let me see here. So we have to add this annotation, guys. We have to add this annotation first. For example, you want to inside this 4 test methods, this class 1 is there. Inside this 4 test methods are there. I want to make this C as the smoke test. So how to do that? Put the circular brackets. Here earlier we have written, if you remember here we have written priority is equal to 1, right? Priority is equal to 1. Okay. Priority is equal to 1. Now instead of that, we are providing groups. Okay. How to provide groups? At the rate test, groups is equal to here in the circle here just provide this curly brackets and here provide smoke. Okay. Smoke. That means this particular test I am marking as smoke related test. Okay. Out of this 4 tests, only this particular test is related to the smoke testing. So in another class also there may be smoke test. Okay. In another class also there may be smoke test. Let's say we'll take class 3 and this particular test also I want to make a smoke test. So how to do that? Group is equal to group, right? Groups. We have to say groups, not group. Groups is equal to, again write the same thing. Open and close the curly brackets and put double quotes and say smoke. This is also smoke. Save this. So apart from one of the test method inside the one of the test method in the class 1 is smoke, that is test 1C, and in class 3 also there is a test 3 which is a smoke, and 6 also. In 6 I'll make also this one smoke. Groups is equal to, like this we have to write. Whatever the test cases you want to mark them as smoke related tests, you have to write like this. Okay. You are just marking them as smoke tests, nothing more than that. So how many methods out of all these classes? There in this class 1 we have 4 test methods, and remaining classes we have one. Okay, one test method in each and every other class. Now total 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 test methods are there. Out of in the 7 classes there are 10 test methods. In that only 3 test methods are smoke test methods. Okay, in that only 3 test methods are smoke test methods. Remaining are normal methods, normal tests. Only 3 tests out of 10 tests are, only 3 out of 10 tests are smoke tests, because we marked them like this. Groups is equal to smoke. Now my client is asking me to run only smoke tests. What I have to do, guys? My client is asking me to run only smoke tests. Out of here only, how many tests are there in this 7 classes? 10 tests are there. If you expand this, you will see that. Okay, one. Here we have one test method. So I have to expand, I guess, completely expand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here again 4 are there. 8, 9, 10. Okay, total 10 test methods are there. 10 tests are there. In that only 3 are smoke tests. Only 3 we marked as smoke tests. This one is a smoke test, and this one is a normal only, class 3. This is a smoke test, and this is a smoke test. Total 3 out of 10 tests are smoke tests now. We marked them like that. Now my client is asking me to only execute the out of this 10 tests, only execute the 3 tests which are smoke tests. How to do that, guys? How to tweak this testng.xml file so that you will run only the smoke tests. For that, here is the syntax, guys. Let me open this. This is the code which we have to follow. Okay, this is the code which we have to follow. So, so for now, what we'll do is we'll remove this part. Packages we are already done. So I'll remove this comment. I'll remove this comment. Control Shift F. Spaces have to align. This is the original format. Fine. Now here classes. So another here we have excluded, included something, right? I'll remove this part. I'll just put this slash. Or we can do one thing, guys. I can do one thing. I'll simply delete this testng.xml file. I'll recreate it. How to recreate? Simply go to right click on the project, say TestNG, then again say convert to TestNG. Click on finish. That's it. TestNG.xml file got created. I'll close everything. So you see, all the 7 classes are there. All the 7 classes are there. In these 7 classes, I don't want to execute all the 10 tests. In these 7 classes, there are 10 test cases. I don't want to execute all the 10 test cases. Only that 3 smoke tests I want to run. For that, this is the syntax, guys. We have to add this part. Okay. Groups we have to add. Groups run include. So under this test, which we want to run, we have to say groups. And inside this groups, we have to provide the run tags. And here we have to say include the group name. What is the group name we have to include? Include name is equal to what is the group name, guys, that we want to run? What is the group name, guys? Type in the chat. What is the group name? Type in the chat. What is the group name we want to run, guys? Out of all the tests, which type of test? Yes, smoke, right, Krish? Smoke we have to run. Just provide smoke here. That's it. So out of all the tests, 10 tests, only smoke related tests will run now. Okay. Run this, right click, run as TestNG suite. How many run? How many test cases? Only 3, which are nothing but smoke tests. You can confirm that. Okay. Only 3 tests. So from where? First one is class 1. In class 1, only test 1C. In class 1, only there are 4 tests. In that, only test 1C got run because it is a smoke. Then next one is, I think we can use it. Okay, we can use everything together. Okay, we can use, but we have to see, like we have to search in the web, like how to use multiple attributes in the TestNG test methods. When you get doubts, this is the only way, guys. Okay. Okay. I think we can try it once. Maybe your question is like, let's say, priority is equal to 1. We can use like this, I feel. Okay, let's run this and see if you are not getting error. That's not a problem. Yeah, it's working fine, guys. Okay, so let's make another one also smoke test and give another priority. This one I am giving priority 2. This is also smoke. This is also smoke. This one is priority 1, priority 2. That means test 1C should be executed first. Test 1B should be executed next. So let's run this. Right click, run as TestNG suite. Okay. So you see first test 1C, then test 1B came. Okay, because priority for test 1B is 2. Test 1C is 1. So first test 1C having the priority 1 got executed. We'll change one thing. We'll change 2 to 1 and 1 to 2. Okay. And run this. This time we should see the different output. You see, first B got executed because priority for B is 1. Priority for C is 2. So is it clear, Krish? Is it clear? Is it clear for you, Krish? Like how to use multiple attributes? Just provide a comma, that will be fine. Yeah, 6 is running because class level. You have to think at the class level. When class 1 is running, this is a priority. Okay, this priority is only for class level, not complete suit level. Okay, you see, in class 1, test 1B has the first priority, test 1C. If you want to change the priority, if you don't want 6 to be running first, what you have to do? You have to go to testng.xml file, and this 6 you have to change the order. Just put it at the end. That's it. This is a way to change the order of the classes. Okay. Now run it. You will see the difference. You see, 6 is coming next. You understood how to change the flow? This is how we have to change. Fine, fine, great. Okay. Now you understood, right? Grouping you understood, I guess. Okay. We can create any number of groups. We can create any number of groups. And when client asks you to run only the smoke test, you have to run like this. When client asks you to run only the regression test, you have to run like that. Okay. So that's it. Okay. You have to create different type of groups and do that. This is about groups. Now let's move to the next topic. There are more attributes. Depends on methods. Okay. Enabled. These are very simple attributes, guys. Let me explain. These are very simple attributes. Okay. So I will do one thing. So you may confuse, guys. That's the reason I'm not combining everything. Okay. I'm just removing. Every time I'm trying to remove, guys, because you know, right? This TestNG is kind of complex, and if you learn things separately only, you will understand. If you combine things together, things may become difficult for you to understand. So let's make the things simple. So let's open one by one and see everything is good. This is good. Test 1, 2. This is also good. Test 1, class 3. You see here group is there. I'll remove this group. 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 has a group. I'll remove this. We are done with the concept, so we can remove. Save all. Close all. And open only the testng.xml file and remove this groups concept now. We are now out of the groups concept. Okay, things are back to the normal. Okay, things are back to the normal. Now at this point of time, I'll explain other attributes like depends on methods. Depends on methods. For example, I'll create a class, guys. Okay, somewhere in the KPack, I'll create a new class. I'll name this class as class 8. Different new class I'm creating, guys. Inside this, I'll create some methods. For just for our understanding, I'm creating some test methods. Like I'll say Flipkart here, Flipkart, and I'll say @test system.out.println Flipkart. Okay, I'll simply print Flipkart, nothing more than that. Again, another test method, public void. Another is Amazon. Okay, Amazon @test system.out. Simply, I will print when Amazon method is executed. I will simply print Amazon. Okay, Amazon. Now another test method, public void Macy's. Okay, Macy's @test. I'll simply print Macy's. Another test method, public void Walmart. Like this, some test methods I am creating, guys. @test method. System.out.println Walmart. I'll simply print Walmart when this particular test method is executed. Now, this particular class 8 has 4 test methods, right? So if I run this, what will happen? Let's see first. Okay. Once I run this test methods, how they will be run? Let's see. Class 8, right? I'll not use testng.xml file. Directly I'm right click on class 8, run as TestNG test. Only this particular class I'm executing. Amazon, first Amazon, but here Flipkart is there, but Amazon is getting executed, then Flipkart, then Macy's, then Walmart. What is the order in which this particular test methods are getting executed, guys? In which order? Can someone say what is the order in which this particular test methods are getting executed? How these test methods are getting executed, guys? I didn't provide any priority or something, but why Amazon is executing first, then Flipkart, then Macy's, then Walmart? Can anyone say why this kind of order is coming? Anyone, guys? You can type in the chat. You already know the answer. I already explained also in the same today's session only. I explained. Okay, the reason behind why. Yes, alphabetical. You are right, Krish. Okay, you are right. Alphabetical. That's it. Nothing more than that. But I want to change something now. That means so before the Amazon is executed, I want to execute Flipkart and Macy's. Okay, before the Amazon is executed, I want to execute Flipkart and Macy's. For that, here there is an attribute, guys. Depends. Okay, what is that attribute? Depends on methods attribute. Depends on methods. Depends on methods is equal to provide this curly brackets like this. For now, let's first depend only on one method. Before Amazon is there, I want to execute Flipkart. So Flipkart. I'm saying Flipkart. So before Amazon, I want to this particular method to be executed first. So what happens is when you add this particular attribute, so according to the alphabetical order, Amazon should be executed first, but it will check this particular attribute and see that before this Amazon, Flipkart should be executed. So it will go to Flipkart. The control will go like this, guys. Okay, let me explain in a better way. So first of all, since alphabetical order is there, 1 minute. Since alphabetical order is there, what is the first one, guys? First Amazon. The control will go to Amazon. When control goes to Amazon, like this, so it will check that there is something like depends on methods. So it will not execute Amazon, guys. So it will directly redirect to Flipkart. Now Flipkart will be executed. This will be printed. Once Flipkart is done, what is the next in alphabetical order according to Flipkart? What will come next? And after Flipkart, the control will go to Macy's. Okay. Once Macy's is printed, according to the alphabetical order, after Macy's, what will come? Walmart will come. So Walmart. And finally, it will go to Amazon. Okay. Actually, Amazon should be executed first. But since Amazon is saying that don't execute me first, before executing me, execute Flipkart. So it will redirect to Flipkart. After Flipkart, Macy's will come. After Macy's, Walmart will come. After Walmart, remaining Amazon will be run. Okay, like this it will be then. It will be it will happen like this, guys. Okay, right click run as TestNG test. Sorry, there is some problem is there. What is that problem? So again, let me run it again. Right click run as TestNG test. Again, again I'm getting the exception. Did I do any mistake here? Depends on methods. Maybe there is a problem here, I guess. Depends on. So copy this. Let me open this to see whether I am doing any syntax errors or so. Depends on methods is equal to. This is correct only. Okay, so let me remove this part and try whether I am getting an error. Save it. Run this. Right click run as TestNG test. This time it is working, but now I am putting this depends on. You see here there is a problem. Okay. Flipkart, FLIP, I was missing P and I am providing P here. That's the only reason. Okay, this is how we have to troubleshoot our problems. Okay, whenever you get problems, you have to think like in all directions, like how to resolve that. So since I just missed P, the problem is coming. Fine. So now let's run this. Right click with depends on methods I am running. This time it will work mostly. You see, first it has to go to Amazon. According to the alphabetical order, it has to go to Amazon, but Amazon is saying that execute Flipkart first. So it went to Flipkart. So Flipkart. After Flipkart, alphabetically, Macy's will come next. So Macy's. After Macy's, alphabetically Walmart will come. After Walmart, finally the remaining method, that is Amazon, is getting executed. Okay, this is how depends on methods. Let's say if I say Flipkart comma another one, that is before executing the Flipkart and say Macy's. Okay, like this you can give, guys, before multiple methods you can give, not a problem. Depends on means this particular method is depending on other methods. So this particular method should be executed only after this methods got executed. Only after Flipkart, Macy's and Walmart got executed, then only Amazon has to be executed. So right click, run as TestNG test. Like this. After the Flipkart, Macy's and Walmart got executed, then only Amazon will be executed. Okay. You can provide multiple methods also. It depends on methods. Okay. So like this, guys, this is all about depends on methods. If some method is depending on other method, the dependent method will be executed first. Then only after that only the required method will be executed. Okay. Fine. So that is depends on method attributes. Similarly, we have many attributes. So these are all from TestNG, guys. You can go to TestNG documentation. Go to testng.org. Yesterday I told you, right? We have to go to Java doc to go to the TestNG. So in this API, we have all those attributes, guys. Okay. So these are the annotations. These are the different annotations. So attributes may be somewhere. Okay. We don't know where exactly they are. These are just annotations. Different annotations are there, but attributes may be somewhere, guys. Okay. So you have to search for them if you want. That's okay. That's okay. You don't have to worry that much. Okay. Anyhow, I am explaining. Next one is enabled is equal to false. Suppose I'll remove this depends on methods. Suppose, guys, I want to run this class 8. When I run this class 8, let me save. When I run this class 8, all the 4 test methods will be executed, right? All the 4 test methods. Right click, run as, where is run as? TestNG test. All the 4 test methods, Flipkart, Amazon, Macy's, Walmart. Amazon, Flipkart, Macy's, Walmart got executed. But suddenly I thought like, I don't want to run Macy's. What I have to do? Enabled is equal to false, I have to say. So do I have to put double quotes or not? I don't think we have to put double quotes here. Okay. Enabled is equal to false. Save it. So except this Macy's, remaining test methods will be executed. Okay. Except this Macy's, remaining test methods will be executed. The test method that you provided with enabled is equal to false will not be executed. Okay. So run this, right click, run as TestNG test. So you see, except Macy's, Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart got executed. Amazon, Flipkart, Walmart got executed. Macy's didn't get executed. Okay. Macy's didn't get executed. So where are we? Attributes, right? So enabled is equal to false is done. The next one. The next one is timeout. Timeout. So let's move to timeout. Timeout is equal to, I'll explain this another attribute, guys. Hope you understood enabled is equal to false. So we'll do one thing, guys. Looks like we are up with the time. So I'll explain all these things in tomorrow's session. Okay. This part I'll be covering in tomorrow's session. Let's complete this final attribute and close for today. This final attribute, let's complete today. And this parameterization, okay, passing multiple data, TestNG, this will take time, guys. Okay. This will not be so much as they look, right? They actually take a lot of time. They actually take a lot of time, guys. So let's cover them in tomorrow's session. For now, only this attribute, timeout, will cover, and we'll cover the remaining in tomorrow's session. Fine. So timeout, last attribute is timeout. How to work with timeout? Let me tell you. Say, here I am saying timeout, or with Amazon only we can say, this is good. Timeout is equal to some 5,000 you give. This is not timeout. This is capital O you have to give, guys. That's why you are getting error. Time out is equal to 5,000. 5,000 means this is time, guys. 5,000 milliseconds. 5,000 milliseconds means how much? Yes, Karan, you are right. 5 seconds. Okay, this is 5 seconds. So what does it mean? If you are providing this kind of attribute before a test method, for a test method, if this test method, if this test method is not executed within 5 seconds, okay, if this test method is not executed in 5 seconds, then you are going to get an exception. Okay, so let's see how to make this to work. I'll say thread dot sleep. I'm just giving some 6 seconds. I'm intentionally waiting this particular method to for 6 seconds. So here timeout is 5 seconds. Within 5 seconds, this one has to execute. But here 6 seconds we are saying. Okay. So if this particular test method is not responding back, it's not running. Okay, it's not running or something. Okay, during runtime when this particular method is running, if something is not happening or things are getting idle for 5 seconds, more than 5 seconds, then this will give an exception. Okay, if everything is running smooth, nothing will happen. So see here, right click, run as TestNG test. You see, Amazon. So it's waiting for 6 seconds, but timeout is 5 seconds. You got an exception. What is that? Timeout exception. What if I make this 4 seconds? Not a problem. Right click, run as TestNG test. Amazon, 4 seconds, you see? Because 4 seconds is below 5 seconds. Will not give an exception. What if I give system.out.println Amazon? Again, I will give thread.sleep. Total how many seconds? 4 plus 4, 8. So will it fail or not? We have to check. It will not fail mostly. Okay. So at a time, 4 seconds is there. After that, it is responding back with Amazon. Then again, it can wait for 4 seconds. Right click, run as TestNG test. First Amazon, 4 seconds. After that, again Amazon, you got an exception this time. You got an exception. Because maybe it is thinking after printing Amazon, again it is waiting, right? It cannot wait more than 5 seconds, it seems. Okay. So timeout. You have to set a timeout, guys. Okay. You have to set a timeout. Within 5 seconds, this execution should complete. So here for 8 seconds means you have to give it something like 10. Maximum time you have to give. Within 10 seconds, this particular test has to complete. This is not muchly used, not mostly used, guys. Okay. Just for your knowledge, you have to. Okay. Just for your knowledge, you have to learn this part. Okay. Timeout thing. Now it will not, nothing will happen because 8 seconds is less than 10 seconds. So that's fine. You can experiment like this and learn perfectly. So we are done with the more attributes. So this part I'll be covering tomorrow. Okay. This is again additional advanced things only. They take a lot of time. So let me cover them tomorrow, guys. This is nothing but TestNG part 3, I'll say. For tomorrow's session, it is TestNG part 3. TestNG is very big, guys, and a lot of focus is required, and it's better to learn everything in TestNG. Okay, so let's be cool and cover more things in TestNG without missing any topics. But before coming to the next session, guys, TestNG, better to practice today's session so that these things will become familiar for you. Okay, once you understand the previous things, when attending the next classes, you'll feel that these things are kind of easy because you will not be confused because of these old topics. Okay, new topics will be easy to understand. So make sure that you practice before coming to next session again. So guys, time to close, wind up today's session. Is everything clear so far? Any doubts, guys? If you are clear, type S. If you have questions, you can post the questions in the chat. Great. So, but practice, guys. Practice all these things. No need to remember anything. Just practice and make sure that you are getting results. That's all is enough. Okay. So, guys, that's it for today. So, good to see all the clear things. Fine. Meet you in tomorrow session. Bye, guys. Thank you, guys. Bye.